And also we have Zainab Chaudry, Brooke Goldstein, and J.D. Gordon, all joining us in the conversation. I'll do my best to give everybody their time.
I would just like to jump in and also say that the outrage is there from the Muslim community, not just here nationally in the United States, not just in Europe, but globally. Muslims all around the world are outraged by the horrific actions that terrorist organizations like ISIS are engaged in. They do not reflect the teachings of our religion. They do not reflect the teachings of Islam, of over 1.5 billion people in the world. The fact of the matter is that some of ISIS's most prominent victims are Muslims. The vast majority of their victims are Muslims. So vilifying Muslims by asking where is the outrage, I mean, we can also say where is the outrage on behalf of radical right-wing extremists who commit terrorist acts here in the United States. Muslims have been condemning.
But Zainab, I'm going to cut you off on that one, because we have seen the outrage. After the Charlie Hebdo attack, the streets in Paris were filled with thousands of people coming out in outrage. Not the Muslims, but the Parisians saying, we're out here, we're not going to be afraid of any terrorists. When I'm saying outrage, I'm saying, where are we going to see thousands of people coming out saying, this is our religion, they're hijacking our religion, they don't stand or represent for us. And I'm not saying here in our streets, I'm saying in Saudi Arabia, where they don't seem to now be lifting a glove to help in the fight against ISIS, which is operating in their backyard.
Well, I can tell you over 120 Muslim leaders and scholars from all around the world have signed a letter, an open letter condemning ISIS and distancing their actions from Islam. The fact is, the vast majority of Muslims do not believe that ISIS speaks for them or speaks on their behalf. Many Muslims are frankly tired. They're absolutely exhausted from condemning these actions. And now there's a sense of, well, they don't speak for us, they don't reflect our views. Why should we feel like we have to take ownership of their actions and take to the streets and condemn their actions? And just to respond to that, an allegation that was denounced by the State Department, it's important to realize when we're fighting terrorist organizations like ISIS that these groups they're not formed in a vacuum. There are different factors that contribute to the formation of terrorist organizations like ISIS. We know that there was a destabilization in Iraq and Syria for a period of over 4 years, and there's been a civil war going on. There's been a humanitarian crisis of unimaginable proportions that for the vast majority of that time has been left ignored by the global community.
So let me stop you there. Zainab, what do you think the solution is here? Should we just, I mean, how do you eliminate or eradicate these terrorists?
I wish I had the million-dollar answer to that question.
I have the million-dollar answer.
It's important to keep in mind that this is a political ideology. And if we
well, hold on, I don't have time for the long version. I mean, just give me the short version. What is the solution?
The question is the authorizing use of military force the answer?
So kill them, is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I'm saying that that's actually not the answer. I think that having boots on the ground, increasing use of military forces will actually contribute to the problem. And we have to win over the hearts and minds of the people who would otherwise.
Wait a second, you're saying you want to win over the hearts and minds of people that are trying to kill us?
No, of people who might be susceptible or vulnerable to be recruited by terrorists.
But no, that's not my question. My question is the people that want to kill us. I'm talking about the terrorists here who are now in the field of battle and would love nothing more than to come over here and take care of business here. What do you do with those people?
That's a discussion that has to be conducted with experts around the table.